So when I started my career, you were not even born. I started my career as a medical representative with a salary of 800 rupees. I burnt all the bridges behind because I never wanted to go back. Whenever you're making medicine, the moment you come to the factory, you should pray that what we used to do in 10 hours, they can do in 2 hours. That kind of potential they have.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Factory Frontline. And in today's episode, we have the managing director of Daffohils Laboratories Private Limited, located in a brilliant location in Dehradun. And there's a lot of interesting things we can hear and learn from him. So let's welcome him to the show. Welcome, Mr. IPS Chawla.
Yeah. Thank you, Rizwan.
Yes.
Pleasure.
Excited to meet you, sir. You seem to have a varied experience from marketing to multiple things in finance. I saw your profile, and you also seem to have a course you did it at IIM.
Yeah,
So,
I'm Skashipur.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your early days and how did you move into the whole pharma industry?
Okay. Thank you, Rizwan. It was pleasure meeting you also. You come from so far. I think it's the other part of the India, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me introduce myself. I started my career as a medical representative with a salary of 800 rupees. My
Okay.
first salary was 800 rupees.
Okay.
It was in May, 13th May. My first joining date was 13th May, 1989.
Achha.
I think, what's your date of birth?
At 2 years later, I was born.
So when I started my career, you were not even born. so that's I started my career with a first salary was 800 rupees. I started my career as medical representative. Before that, let me go back. My father got retired in 88.
Sure.
And what I should do or I should contribute, because it was a paradigm shift that I never thought that my father will retire at that, and I was not working anywhere. I was doing my post-graduation, and graduation was something I was doing in commerce.
Okay.
I did my graduation in commerce.
Mhm.
Then, but I thought that I should support my family immediately when my father got retired. So I just picked the first job which I got, and this was a medical representative. It was ad was there, and I got a first job that was a medical representative. I was not science graduation, but yes, I did 12th with biology and chemistry. So that was something which helped me to got selected, and I started my career as a medical representative. From 89 to 97, in these 7 years, I got almost 3 promotions. I started as medical representative, then I was raised to area manager and regional manager. Okay. When I came to the regional level post, it just came to my mind that if I'm working, I'm doing job, I'm blocking one job. So let me do something that at least I should employ 5 people. So rather than blocking one, so I should employ 5. So that means I'll be creating job for 6 people. That was pure intention about starting the business.
Okay.
And that led to start my marketing company in 1997. From 97, from that time, we never looked back.
Okay.
When I started my company, my family said, "Yeah, what are you doing? I got married and I had a just 1 year son." So they said, "What are you doing? Why are you taking the risk?" I said, "This is only time when I can take risk, because if I'll be late, I'll not be, because my risk bearing capacity will deplete."
Correct.
So that was the time I said, "Let me try my." And when I started my company, one thing I did is I burnt all the bridges behind because I never wanted to go back. That was my intention. So the only option was to move forward. And from that, I started in 1997 my marketing company, and it was almost pan-India. We worked with almost 150 representative pan-India. During this journey, I felt again something happened that because we were getting our product manufactured from the other company. And that time, I'm talking of that era, there very few companies were there, the third-party manufacturer. There were certain few companies, handful of companies in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and some companies in Mumbai or some companies in Delhi. So we were getting, as we were growing, and we were not getting our products in time. That time, I thought of setting up our own unit. So the feeling was that कब तक हम लोग बाहर से we'll keep on going to hotel and eating food. So we thought, let us set up own kitchen. And that time, fortunately, Uttarakhand was formed. and the new schemes came for incentives came, and we started our own manufacturing unit.
Yeah.
We bought the land in 2005, and it took 2 years to come to the commercial production. 2007, we started a commercial production, and from 2000, with a small, say around we started around 10,000 square feet of the floor area was around 10,000 square feet, and as on date, it is around 50,000 square foot of floor area. With all the sections, we are in tablets, capsule, liquid, dry syrup, ointment, and from last 3 years, our proportion has already is changed. Now, initially we were almost 90%, 99% we were for domestic marketing. From last year, the focus has shifted, and almost now our revenue comes from 40% from exports and 60% from domestic. And we want to reverse this in next another 5 years. We want to make it at least 80% as export and 20% domestic.
Brilliant, brilliant. So when you said you were doing a job in 1989, yeah. But did you even think that you will end up having a manufacturing unit which will do pharmaceutical products?
No, never thought. Never thought. It was just a grace of God.
Okay.
I thank all.
Also, just want to ask, so you are originally from where, Mr. IP?
Yeah, we are born and brought up in Dehradun. I'm born and brought up in Dehradun. My father, he migrated from Pakistan. In 1947. Basically, we are from Pakistan, but erstwhile Punjab.
Oh, wow.
So my father migrated from Pakistan. So he came to Dehradun only in 47.
So the whole pharma city happening in Dehradun is a very a coincidence. You didn't think of like choosing Dehradun for the pharma city happening here.
No. It was by default.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about how things have transformed, because like you said, even when you were at the job, you were still something to do with medical representation and the pharmaceutical people, doctors, and all that. After that, when you started your marketing company, I'm hoping it was also in the medical field and pharmaceutical field.
Yes.
So you've seen pharmaceutical for almost like 30 years, 35 years now, 30 plus years now. So tell us how things have changed, and tell us what is still missing in the last 3 decades.
Change is like people and even the entrepreneurs, companies, they have become more cautious. They are more cautious about the quality. They have come to the international. These days, the pharmaceutical units which we are moving in, our pharmaceutical unit, most 80% manufacturing units are almost a world-class standard. Adhering, most of units are WHO, then US FDA, so EU GMP. So all kind of certifications are going on. So this is evaluation. Initially, it used to be just a pharmaceutical unit in India, but now the units are at par with the world-class units or the world-class norms which are required by industry worldwide.
Okay.
So this is evaluation which has happened over the year.
Okay, great. And you mentioned about how there's a lot of transition which is happening from the domestic market to the international market. How do you think the difference in production quality or production standards differ from Indian markets to the international markets? And where do you feel Indian market also has to kind of like raise their bar?
Oh, I'm not saying that for international market, Indian customers, Indian needs, Indian norms are also coming up to that level. Recently, the revised schedule M has come, which is even more than WHO GMP. So India has already come to that level. Our the medicines which are going in Indian market is at par with any multinational company or the norms which are in other countries. So, but as I've told you that yes, we are shifting our focus to the more of the exports because of the revenue, and we want to bring dollars or that economy to the Indian economy. That's a mission now.
Great. But I also want to go back to your personal journey. I saw you doing your when you were at the peak of the career. Tell us a little bit about the whole IIM thing you did, and why did you choose to do that when you were so busy with your business? And what do you feel? What changed after that whole phase of you doing something at IIM?
So my feeling is that one should never stop learning.
Right.
And learning has no age.
True.
So once you say that, no, I have done this, and you should not never be complacent in anything.
True.
Either it is to your career, to your studies, to your learning. So I'll share an interesting story with you. While my convocation was going in IIMS, I did my MBA from IIMS Kashipur. So when my convocation was going on, I was just like, someone asked me, because I was the most senior person in the batch.
Okay.
So they it just asked, there's one question, like, then I introduced myself that this is it. And the same time, like, I'll tell you, same year my daughter also did MBA. I also did MBA. So she was in Canada and I was in. So that was a coincidence, and it was something great feeling that at when my daughter is doing MBA, I'm also doing MBA. So nothing can be greater than that feeling.
So you believe in the learning has to be a continuous process and not just a phase of your life.
Yes, it is never ending. After that, two things which I wanted to do, but I never did it. The two things, like, it's my personal I'm talking of. I always wanted to do horse riding and I wanted to do swimming. I never did swimming. So last year I started swimming, and now I'm proud to say that every for at least regular summer 2 months I go for swimming. So one thing I was accomplished, and another thing I want to learn is horse riding. At this age, two things which I think I have not done it, so I'm doing it. One thing is left, that is I want to do horse riding also.
So there's a lot more learning aspirations you have.
Yes.
Okay, great. So a lot of people in India are still a little afraid about the whole manufacturing. Like there are a lot of norms, a lot of things which are not so favorable. So you've seen a lot of things in the last 3 decades.
Yeah.
Tell us how much of a growth has happened in India with manufacturing, and what do you feel in terms of, for manufacturers, the government should kind of add more to this, or you can also say what has it already been done and why, like, people have to kind of get the maximum out of it, or like have to utilize it properly. So you tell us about your opinion of how the manufacturing has changed in the last 3 decades with regards to the support from the government.
I'll say government is like going all out. Let's talk of one recently, 3 years back, government has started PLI just to promote domestic industries to be more competitive with world, and especially with China. So they started a production link incentive scheme also. So in that, how much production whatever production you do in a year, you get an incentive for that. So government is doing lot, and pharmaceutical and IT. There are two things which is on the government's priority list, because they know that these two industries can bring a lot of revenue to India. So they are supporting in every way, and same way they are giving us support also, and on other hand they are asking for a lot of compliances also, because they are telling compliances because they want to make us competitive with the world.
True.
So they are balancing. One side they are giving a lot of incentives also, and second hand they are asking for the compliances, and that compliances is good for industry, because if we want to grow, so we have to be at par with the other countries.
Correct.
So for that, government is making norms more stricter, and other side they are giving a lot of incentives also. So full appreciation for the government. They are making pharmaceutical industry, world should see that yes, if we are getting a medicine from India, it is safe,
of great quality.
Yeah, great quality, or safest quality.
Brilliant. I think people like you definitely have a lot of part to play in that.
Yes.
Great. So also, I wanted to ask a little bit about your collaborations at Daffohils and as yourself. There's a lot of international collaborations you have. I recently saw something you did with some Japanese company. So tell us about your international collaborations, and tell us something very exciting which you did in terms of uh, business, or in terms of collaboration, in terms of trainings, whatever you feel in terms of the global collaboration.
As you've already seen that you've recently seen that we have done a collaboration with a Japanese company. Like we'll be a supplying partner to Japanese company. We have recently tied up with a Venezuelan company. So we are doing direct exports to Venezuela. We are doing to Japan. We are taking care of francophone countries, the
Oh.
French-speaking African countries, registrations going on Philippines, Vietnam, Myanmar. Last 3 months back, we got 7 product approval in Bhutan. Bhutan seems to be a very small country for some of the people, most of the people. But we know that it is a wonderful country, beautiful country, and
See, I've been to Bhutan, so I can tell you one of the best countries I've visited.
yes, and the people are very nice. And we got 7 product already registered in Bhutan, and 15 are in process.
Okay.
So by the end of this year, we'll be having around 25 products for Bhutan, and we are exclusively working for Bhutan also these days. Yes.
Great. So I can see there's a lot of activity in terms of reaching out, or like people who are trying to reach out is also happening. But tell me a little bit. I know it's a very gray area or a difficult area when it comes to medical-based professions. The whole marketing is a very questionable area. But tell me, in the pharma space, how important it is to understand marketing, and how do you very carefully deal with marketing for a business like yours or any pharma business, and how should they approach marketing, or how important is marketing to them?
Marketing is important, but we should do marketing with ethics.
That's exactly what
we should not break our ethics. Like we should not do any unethical practice in marketing, because we are making medicine, and the medicine is something which your wife have to eat, your daughter have to eat, your mother have to eat. So you should always be cautious making while medicine, that this medicine is appropriate for your mother, your father, your sister, your daughter. So whenever you're making medicine, the moment you come to the factory, you should pray that the medicine which I'm making, what purpose I'm making, it should work on that purpose. So that is my feeling.
Great. I probably have asked you a lot of questions, but I'll also leave you with few last questions. Tell us a little bit about where you see Daffohils, and also I can see second generation of your family has got into the business, and there's more they are going to take it to even more further heights. So tell us what's in for the future for Daffohils.
I'm thankful that my second generation is coming. Always, you know that the first generation, the business in the first generation makes business, and it is always difficult. Now, stage is set, so they can take to new heights. We see at least Daffohils in next 5 years, at least 500 crore company.
Oh, wow.
That is our mission.
Wow, great. I would say it is a very noble space to be also, because manufacturing medicines, though keeping the commerce aside, it saves a lot of people's lives at times. It keeps a lot of people healthy. It keeps them running. So it's a very great space you are at. And I'm really happy to have a conversation with you. Leave us with a few things. With your experience, tell us, for the upcoming people or manufacturers or anybody who are the young generation, even like your second generation, what would be your one advice you want them to kind of take it and go forward in the future, for the future?
Okay. So my take is, it is not the pharma manufacturing, any new generation which is coming. So they have a lot of potential. What we used to do in 10 hours, they can do in 2 hours. That kind of potential they have. So what I see the future of India, as everyone knows, that India has got the youngest population of the world. So I'll advise, I'll motivate the next generation that rather than looking for a job, they should be an entrepreneur. And you've seen in the last 5 years, 10 years, a lot of startups have come up, and most of them, they are successful also. Same way, keep trying. There's a wonderful opportunity in all manufacturing, and being such a beautiful or wonderful government at present who is promoting manufacturing. So my advice is that at least maximum people, they should try for any business, any startup, rather than just relying on 9 to 5 job. They should have that. They should at least start some startup.
Okay.
That is my advice to them.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot again, and it was wonderful speaking to you. Looking forward to get more information and learning from you soon. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rizwan.
So that was a wonderful conversation we had today. There's going to be much more such people coming onto the show, and see you in the next episode of Factory Frontline. Thank you.